Hello, everyone. This is Emily Burley, President at ELS. Welcome to today's ELSX, and thank you for joining us. ELS is a community that brings together executive assistants supporting the world's most influential leaders. We cultivate professional development by providing an experience for assistants to connect, collaborate, and contribute solutions to their greatest challenges. We are also the creator of the ELS Forum, a professional development experience for executive assistants held in cities across North America. At the forum, attendees gain support, training, and inspiration from world-renowned instructors and peers to discover a renewed sense of passion and purpose in their career. If you're interested in attending a forum, you can find out more at elsforum.com. Today, I am thrilled to partner with Diana Brandl. Diana continuously supports the role of assistants by speaking at international events and publishing articles in Germany and abroad, focusing on many topics ranging from digital transformation, personal branding, strategic networking, and many more. Diana writes her own blog, The Socialista Projects, and is influencing the industry with her creative initiatives, such as launching the hashtag #WeAreInThisTogether. Diana describes herself as a digital native and has worked in the startup world where she rediscovered her role as an assistant with 17 years of experience. She teaches firsthand what it means to work with millennial managers and how important storytelling is in sharpening a profile. Hello and welcome, Diana.
Hey everybody, this is Diana speaking to you from Munich tonight.
Today, Diana is going to be discussing networking made easy, how to become a real networker. There will be an opportunity to get your questions answered, so please submit your questions at any time via the questions tab that's on the right-hand side of your screen. You can also download a copy of the slides via the handout tab on the menu. A certificate of attendance and a recording of the webinar will be automatically emailed to you tomorrow. It is now my pleasure to hand it over to Diana.
Thank you so much, Emily. As always, a wonderful introduction. It is a pleasure working with you guys. And yeah, it's wonderful to be back. Just a couple of days ago, we had a great webinar on millennial managers, how to manage your future manager. And today or tonight, which is my time zone here in Germany, in Munich, we're going to talk about networking. The funny thing is when I created the slides, I thought, oh, I need to show them my beautiful Berlin where I live. But tonight, I just finished a workshop in beautiful Munich, although it is pouring here, it's raining. So I cannot even tell you I'm in Berlin, but I am actually living in Berlin, in the beautiful capital of Germany. And I just love it there. I live there with my husband and my dog, Phoebe, on the outskirts of Berlin. But now, since I've been traveling since Sunday, it brought me to the south of Germany, to beautiful Bavaria in Munich. And by the way, there has been the Oktoberfest here. So this is something I think a lot of people know from Germany, and there's a lot of food and a lot of drinking involved. And I think it's one of these traditions we have here and we are known in the world for. Let me briefly introduce myself. Emily mentioned a lot of things about me already, but I just want to mention my background a little bit more in detail. I always say that I'm one of the admins out there, one of the communities. I'm a trained secretary. When I finished my school in Germany, I wanted to discover the world, of course. I wanted to go abroad. I went to the US. I was working as an au pair. And by then, I already knew that I would like to come back and work in an office environment. So I found out what would be the right place for me and the right industry and the right education. So I decided to go to an academy and to become a trained secretary. We still have a lot of these certifications in Germany where we get to secretary schools, assistant schools, and we are fully prepared for this amazing profession. I've been working in this business for nearly 20 years. I really enjoyed it. I had all these kinds of executives. I've been working for many different kinds of companies, bigger global corporations like Sony, or smaller companies, mid-sized companies. And as Emily mentioned before, I've been deep diving into the startup business as well. So it was wonderful before I was finishing my career as an active administrative assistant on a C-level to dive into the world of startups, to really discover what it is to work in a digital environment, to work with millennial managers, and to know how important strategic networking is. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I love to network. One of the reasons why I joined IMA already many, many years ago. IMA is a very popular association here in Europe. We have a strong group in Germany. It is wonderful to see the peers coming together from all over the world. We even have members in the US. I've been a member since 2006, but for me, it was always important to see what other countries are doing. So I've been joining IAAP already 2 years ago, and I really enjoy this wonderful association to see what is happening in the US, the industry is doing there, the market is doing there, what elements are important for us European assistants, and what elements can I bring into my seminars and webinars. I used to serve as a board member and a regional chair, and it was wonderful to serve the organization and help this industry to grow and to become more visible. Almost 2 years ago, I decided to work on my own, to start the Socialista project and to work as a trainer and speaker and coach. I work all over Europe, focusing on Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, but also speaking a lot in the UK. And in the US, I'm going to be in Atlanta this year, talking at Executive Secretary Live, and there will be hopefully a lot of adventures more coming in 2020. I'm a happily married wife. I'm a mommy of my dog Phoebe, and I recently became an auntie of little Sarah, and I brought you some pictures. First of all, the dog, of course, the furry baby called Phoebe. I named her after Phoebe and Friends. And she looks like a kind of a puppy, but she's actually 10 years old, so she's a granny. And she's losing a little bit of her activity, so sometimes it's quite sad to see her becoming a little older. But here is little Sarah. I'm a very proud aunt. Actually, I'm a proud godmother. You can see me with Sarah in one picture, and the other one was taken a few months ago in our garden because little Sarah was over. She's been introduced to us because my brother, who's the daddy of Sarah, is living in Mexico City, so not around the corner, as you can imagine. So it's a 12-hour flight just to see your little godchild, but we're going to be back in February in Mexico to see her. But I want to be a little bit proud, so of course I wanted to share this with you as well. So this is a little bit of the private Diana. So let's get started. The creation of a strong and sustainable network. And it always sounds so easy. I mean, when you look at the word networking, it's so easy. And probably when I would ask you, are you a good networker? You probably would all say, of course I am. Of course I am. But have you actually wondered that the word work is in networking? And it is a lot of work. Even if you believe that online networking is a little bit different than offline networking, it is a lot of work. And I meet so many assistants in my seminar, actually just today in Munich, when I was talking about the topic networking a little bit as well. A lot of people are afraid of putting so much energy into networking. I always try to challenge them that it's such great opportunities out there when you really invest in a network, when you invest in yourself, in going out there, log in on social media, go to meetups, go to conferences, go to trainings, and just meet those peers around you, the ones in your city, the ones in the company, the ones maybe in the neighborhood of your company. There's a lot of potential. I'm going to deep dive into this with you together tonight. So let's start with the online networking, because it kind of sounds a little easier, but it's not, because it means also a lot of energy. And of course, social media is a big, big platform. There's so many channels. Sometimes you keep wondering, do I need to be everywhere? Do I need to have an account everywhere? And my quick answer is no. Simply focus on the channels where you feel comfortable with. If it's LinkedIn, perfect. I think LinkedIn is a must nowadays, to have a business profile there, to have a visible business profile there, to connect with your peers, to connect with colleagues, to connect with business partners. Okay, if you want to be on Facebook, yeah, why not? Absolutely. A lot of people are on Facebook. Instagram is becoming more and more popular. But those are the channels you really want to think about the way you want to connect with people. Do you want to be connected with your manager on these channels? Do you want to be connected with your friends or colleagues on these channels? So there are quite a lot of challenges you really want to consider who you're going to invite into your online network. And I brought you a nice quote from Eric Qualman, who is really a social media guru. So he has a wonderful saying, we don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well we do it. And he's really, really right. So many people are out there who say, yeah, I have a LinkedIn account, but actually I don't even remember my password. I don't know when the last time I was actually online. I updated my profile. I updated my profile picture. I updated all the things I've been doing the past half of the year. And these are the things that actually makes or gives us so much work to do. Because after a long day in the office, after a long day of being there for your manager, being there for your team, you come home, you do a little sports activity, you meet a friend, or you just simply enjoy dinner with your family. And then you should go online all the time and see what happened there, who I can connect with, who I can really exchange with. But again, it's a well invested time, and I strongly encourage you to see what opportunities out there for you. So, of course, social media, we all know the threats out there. We all know that everyone is spying on us, everyone is reading our stuff, everyone is there just checking out our profiles. And of course, we know that there's a lot of negative things are happening. They are copying profiles, they are stealing profiles, there's data that has been stolen. So these things are happening. I recently had another friend request over Facebook from someone I've been knowing for many, many years. And of course, I knew instantly that this is a fake account because my friend has been connected with me for many, many years. So of course, I mentioned this to her and I say, hey, you want to check your Facebook account? I think you got hacked. So of course, all these things that we read online and we read in the press scare a lot of people out there. So they have a feeling like, should I really be there? Should I really invest in that social media? And so of course, it is wise to know the channels that you like, the channels you trust, and if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, but for sure it should be LinkedIn because that's the #1 professional channel. So here is my profile, and I have to tell you, it's not updated because I actually, I actually took new photographs, and the moment I was preparing the slides for Emily, I didn't have it updated yet. So I was actually just seeing that before we started the webinar. So it's quite funny. So of course, I would love to hear from you. I would love to connect with you, but you will see there's a different picture. So the first one you see up there, a lot of people don't even know that there's a background picture you can actually add into your LinkedIn profile. And this is something that forms your brand, that forms your profile. So you really want to make sure that you have an attractive profile, that people feel like you invest time in your profile and they feel like they want to connect with you, they want to learn more about you. So this is something a lot of people don't know, and I really strongly recommend to use a nice, attractive, and yeah, maybe a nice quote, or even if you feel like you are strongly connected to your company, why not using the company logo in the background? But make sure you check this internally, of course, with your company. Then you have the section where you actually write down who you are. It's below your name. So you have an opportunity to write down a few things that describe you in a few words. And then, of course, a very important section is the About section. And this is basically where you have a lot of room to show what is part of your profile. Of course, since I'm working on my own, I'm an entrepreneur. So you can imagine this list is a little longer than I would have had all these years when I was a full-time assistant. But hey, that's your chance to really describe yourself, and you decide how much information you want to give away and how much you would like to share with people. But this is the first sight people have of you, and this is the first introduction they receive from you virtually. And think about the fact when you hand over a business card, you want to make sure this card is clean. You want to make sure this card is, it looks great. So the moment you are handing it over, you check it. You want to make sure it looks the way it should look. So I have the feeling with your online profile as well, because it is part of your brand and it helps you in terms of networking and it helps you in terms of connecting with fantastic people out there. And why not even putting some more information on your profile? I started writing articles on LinkedIn a few years ago. It's not that I'm releasing an article every month. I feel like I release an article when I have something to say, but this is also helping me to build up my network, because we get into discussions. There are lots of comments coming in, lots of sharing, liking, discussing, controversial discussions, of course, as well, because I think that's very constructive. So this is something where you can also invest and you can see, hey, who's actually part of my network and who's commenting, who's sharing things I'm uploading, and more importantly, what else are you reading on the other side? Be active, show your support, show that you have just read this article and you really enjoyed this and someone has written this article. So there was a lot of time and investment involved. So why not giving a heads up and a share and a like, and maybe even mention to your colleagues that you just read a fantastic article on LinkedIn, because that's a fantastic platform to really share a lot of stuff. There are great groups out there for admins. The skills and endorsements, they help you also to sharpen your profile and of course to invest in your network. The moment you give away an endorsement, it is wonderful for your network, because that way you really invest in this network. You are appreciating a skill of someone else. Of course, it is wonderful to get an endorsement back. You have a lot of skills in your LinkedIn profile. You are the one deciding which links you're going to put on, which skills you're going to put on, excuse me. And the moment you have people who are endorsing this is true networking. This is really appreciating each other and supporting into a profile and supporting into a portfolio. So think about the fact the next time you go online, maybe you want to endorse a skill of your coworker. Maybe you want to endorse a skill of someone you've been a fan of, you've been following. So this is really, really helpful. And imagine the smile on the other side when they see that you have been doing this, you have been investing time and endorsing the skills. So this is always a joy when you see these things. And also think about recommendations. I mean, LinkedIn is a perfect platform to give recommendations and to receive them. Again, it is just fantastic appreciation the moment someone is appreciating your work, especially when it's maybe a former manager or even a current manager, if it's a coworker, someone you've been working with, a business partner, or whoever contact you might want to ask to give a recommendation. So don't be shy about these things. Don't have a feeling that you should wait until someone comes over and says, hey, should I write a recommendation for you? So if you feel that you've been doing a great job and you've well connected, go out there and ask your former manager you've been working with so well, why not writing a recommendation for me? It means a lot to me. It's going to help me update my profile and really invest in my profile, and it's going to open a new network for me as well. So here are the recommendations. Support your peers. That is also something that is so important for me. And I would like to show you something I always do. This is an email, and sorry for some German words in here, because I love to connect people. And this is why I chose to be the Socialista projects, because I'm a very social person. And the moment I get to help people, it makes me very, very happy, and I'm very satisfied about the fact. So whenever I meet people and I hear that they have a request or they need advice, I always think about who's in my network, who might be there to help this or that person. And in that case, it was a lady from Romania who was interested in moving to Germany to find a job as an assistant. So she reached out to me. She reached out to me over LinkedIn, actually. And so I had a friend in Berlin, and I thought, oh, wow, I can connect them. It is so easy to bring them together and to build a bridge. So I opened up a new email. I made an official introduction. I even included their LinkedIn profiles, so they have a chance to see each other online already, so they know who they're going to talk with. And that's it. It cost me 2 minutes to write this email, and these people are still connected. Unfortunately, she was not able to help her to find a job, but they have been in touch ever since, and it just was a wonderful way of giving back and opening my network to someone else to help them grow. And then, of course, there's a lot of opportunities if you join a professional networking association. And there are a lot of opportunities out there. First of all, I would like to draw your attention to the website Executive Secretary Magazine. When you go to the website, there's a button, Associations. You can see this. And it's right up there. And then you have a list of all the wonderful associations, specifically in each country of the world. And Lucy and her team has been doing a fantastic job in giving this information, or putting this information on the website. So wherever you are located, why not checking this out and find out if this is an association you might want to join, you might want to get a feeling about, if this is something where you see you can take a lot of benefits from. So go to the website executivesecretary.com/associations. Of course, I've been mentioning it before, the two associations I'm a member of. So it's IAAP in the US. You might want to check out the website if you're not yet familiar with them. And of course, IMA, International Management Assistance, which has been part of my family since 2006, which have helped me grow, which have helped me to be the person I'm now, especially in terms of being a trainer and a speaker, because there are great assistants there. I have mentors there, people who help me grow, people who are constantly by my side. And this is really something I would never ever miss. And this is why definitely worth checking those associations out. One focusing on Europe, the other one focusing on the US. And by the way, they are both partnering. It's wonderful to see how both board members are partnering, are sharing experiences. They are exchanging a lot of strategic ideas. So we are fighting for this industry. We are fighting for this profession all together. It's not that there's one association and there's another one. So it's just a blessing to see how they go in there hand in hand. Wonderful to see this. And of course, there is so much more out there where you can show that you would like to be connected with your peers, where you would love to network. Of course, we have the ELS website. I can strongly recommend to you the blog. There are wonderful interviews with absolutely amazing assistants out there. Whenever I read articles like this, whenever I see an interview, I always try to reach out to these people. I always go on LinkedIn, check the name, and write a personal message. And I say, hey, I just read this brilliant article, this fantastic interview on ELS website. I would love to connect. I'm a former EA myself. I'm based in Germany. Let's connect. Let's share stories, and let's fight for this industry together. So it can be so easy. It is just one click away. It is a two-minute little email. Make it personal. That's very, very important. Just don't click on this button. Sometimes it happens so fast, especially when you use the mobile version. I just had this the other day. I wanted to include a personal message because this is the way I love to network, being authentic and being very personal. And but it was out already. It was too fast over the mobile version. Then we have the Office Ninjas, something I like to follow as well. I can imagine that you might want to learn more of them if you have not heard of them before. So why not signing up for the newsletter, get involved into the community, have a feeling what they are doing. They're doing great stuff out there, and I really like what they do. It's so fresh and very dynamic. Then there's another opportunity coming from the US, which I actually discovered not too long ago. It's Cabinet, fantastic platform where assistants meet around the world. I love to go in there at least once a week to check what's going on. They have several categories where you can find a lot of tips and advice regarding travel, regarding general advice, regarding digital working. So I really got a lot of information out of this fantastic new platform already. So this is something I strongly recommend to check out. Go and sign up for free, meet your peers, and you will be surprised how active the community is. Really, really fantastic. And of course, I would like to introduce you, if you are not yet familiar with them, a wonderful website coming from the UK. My friend Nikki Christmas, a former EA herself, is running the Practically Perfect PA website. They offer great events, they offer great resources, and they have a lot of activity on social media, because this is something where we need to be. We need to be connected. We need to find a lot of information on there, on these channels, and that's just the one I use all the time. And for this reason, I wanted to share this with you tonight as well. But of course, social media, as I said before, there can be threats. You need to be aware what you're doing or not. So don't forget to differentiate between personal and business contacts and channels. So think about the people you really want to be connected to. Think about, do I want to be connected with my boss on Facebook, or other channels that are more personal for me, or maybe LinkedIn is the only solution for me to connect with people from my company. Of course, this is an answer you need to give yourself. Everyone has a different opinion about it, but I would definitely always differentiate who you would like to bring into your network. And don't forget that there is a business etiquette also online. So we always say it's a netiquette because it's the internet. And of course, we need to be polite. And like I mentioned before, if you connect with someone, make it personal. And don't forget that the personal touch is so important, especially when you're reaching out to someone, especially when you are having the first contact with them. You really want to present yourself the best way, because this makes a difference. And in this digital world, sometimes we lose the personal touch so much. We are chatting, we are FaceTiming, and those are the moments sometimes that makes it not always easy to establish a network. So we are very brief in a few messages. So the moment you find a profile interesting and you want to connect with these people, just make it personal. Why you want to connect with that person, why you're interested in the profile, and maybe you have common contacts already. So it is just the next step to connect with that person. In terms of threats, don't forget to check out what your online profile says about you. We all have an online fingerprint, and we need to know what is happening with our data in the internet. So I really would like to encourage you to start Googling your name much, much more than you have been doing before. And the funny thing is that there's a name for it. It's called ego surfing. Such a funny name. And honestly, it's not about ego. It's about safety. And it's about the fact that we know what's going on with our data, especially in terms of cyber mobbing and all these things, the horrible things are happening online. So set reminders. Think about maybe every month you go through your LinkedIn settings, privacy settings. You have a feeling what has changed. What do I need to know? Google your name. If you find anything that you have not authorized, you can contact Google and tell them to delete it. So they're gonna do this. It's gonna take a while, but they are doing it. I've been doing it myself. I told them I found something online and it's not me. I want this to be deleted, and they do it. So you have your rights, and we just need to use them. So let's go and dive into the offline networking. Online is a funny thing, of course. It's easier. You can do it in your sweatpants from your sofa in front of your fireplace. But when we talk about offline networking, meaning that we're gonna meet people, that we're gonna go out on events, that we're gonna share our common conversations. Of course, that's a different story. So when you talk about, like I mentioned before, in this digital world, when we talk about Industry 4.0, when we talk about the new ways of working, of course, we love those wonderful collaboration tools. We love Microsoft Teams. We love Slack. We love all the other wonderful softwares. But don't forget that a personal chat is always a #1 choice. Don't sit in that open space office and text a message or chat with your coworker who's actually just 2 tables away. Just don't do it. Go there, grab a coffee, bring a cookie, and make the chat personal. I think it's so important that we don't forget to have these special moments with our peers within the company or even outside the company. don't forget to eat lunch. I'm always surprised how many people forget about eating lunch, especially us assistants. We always manage the lunches for our managers and team colleagues, but sometimes we just forget to go on lunch date with colleagues. And that's a fantastic networking opportunity. So do this, and don't be afraid of asking a manager to go for lunch. The other day I was reading a thread on social media if this is okay to go on out for lunch or have a coffee with a manager, and I wouldn't be afraid of that. I mean, of course, you need to be careful what you're sharing, what you're saying, and maybe you want to give this manager the opportunity to talk a little bit more than you do, but it's a wonderful opportunity to network. And sometimes we are so afraid of hierarchies. Of course, it is a question of the structure and also the culture of your company, but I was always the one reaching out to direct reports of my manager. When I was sitting in that meeting, I was writing the minutes, and I was listening to one guy or one lady who have been explaining a few things in a presentation, and I just didn't get all the details. I was sending a message. I said, can we have lunch? I think I didn't get this quite. I would love to hear this once more. And by the way, I really was interested in that marketing strategy you were talking about. I would really love to hear more. So this is the opportunity how you can invite someone to lunch, especially when it's a different hierarchy level than yours. Always make it as a business case for sure. Tell them you need to learn more, you want to understand some things better, and that's the way it has a business reason. And I think it will be wonderful for you to talk to these managers as well. And of course, there's a lot of social opportunities, the famous after-work beer or the company you run, and so many ice cream socials. So these are the things we need to be once in a while. And I know a lot of people have a hard time saying, oh no, I had a tough day, I'm not going to go with my colleagues to an after work event. But once in a while, it's good to be there, to show your interest, to show, especially when you're working for a high rank manager, that you are approachable, that you are willing to network, that you are not hiding away, sitting with your manager on a board level or something. So I think this is something you can really invest in your brand. And by the way, also investing in the brand of your manager by being very open about it, by being approachable, and by being there and listening to the talks with your colleagues. What I used to do as well, and I really love that, I really wanted to connect with business partners. So we all know how many emails we are exchanging with external business partners, with clients, whoever. So you can imagine how many calls, how many emails you had with this other assistant on the other side. So whenever there was an opportunity to meet one of these ladies, and usually there are ladies, I said, hey, why not having a coffee? We've been organizing this event for months now. I would love to meet you. Do you want to come over? Would you want to see my office, or should I come over? So these are opportunities you can suggest, and it was always very helpful for me. And my managers really enjoyed the fact that I was so proactive, that I reached out, that I really wanted to know them much better, because in the end, it's helping the relationship, let's face it. And so this is something you want to consider. Of course, keep in mind what is allowed or what is not allowed, the etiquette. Make sure that you are doing something and your manager is aware of that. So this is something, a few guidelines I would follow, but why not? I think it's going to open a few more doors. So it's always nice to know people personally. And of course, yeah, there's always that first moment you've never seen someone in person. You've been exchanging emails, you've been exchanging messages, you have been connected online, but you never met someone before. So why not? There's always sometimes an opportunity coming up. Someone is in the same city and you have an opportunity to reach out. So be brave, step out, and be proactive. And that's how I do it. And you will see another old picture of me, but this is actually just a typical example how I used to do it, and I still do it. Whenever I travel, I go on LinkedIn and I say, in this case, hey, London, I'm in London, who's free for coffee? Who wants to meet up? And so I open up to my community and I say, why not? I'm here, who's around, who wants to meet? And so you get into talks, you get into exchange with your network. People are telling you, hey, I'm not in London. What if you're ever in Miami? Just let me know. I would love to meet you. And this is what happened. She's the one who answered. She's the one who said, yes, I'm based in London, Diana. And we've been connected so many years online. It's time that we're going to meet. So here's Paula, the cake, and I. We had a fantastic afternoon. We've been sharing a lot of information. And ever since we became friends, I actually have been to London just 2 weeks ago where I saw her. And she's a blessing in my life now. But it's important to cultivate your network, of course. It is important that you invest in your network. And I just want to share a few other pictures with you from people in my network. And I'm sure a lot of you might see some familiar faces in here. There are great, great trainer friends in here. We have Lucy Brazier in a few pictures. We have Vicky Sokol Evans. We have Bonnie Lo Crayman. We have Rhonda Scarf, people I adore, and they have been helpful to me and helping me to build up and grow my network. We have Melissa Escobar, who's also working for ELS, wonderful trainer colleague based in Chicago. And of course, people I have met through the years and people I have, I've been connected with for a while. And so we have in the right corner at the end of the picture, we have Nora Onishi, who's the former board chair of IAAP, of the association I mentioned before. So these are people I meet when I go out, when I step out, when I reach out, people in different cities, on different continents. They are even the former assistant of Sir Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos and Eric Schmidt in the picture. So these are people, they are so normal like you and I. And the moment you connect with them and you start connecting online, but there's always that moment when you have the opportunity to meet in person. And I would never ever miss such an opportunity. So yeah, be proactive. And don't forget that a good network is also beneficial for your company. You're going to bring back a lot of benefits. But the thing is, how visible are you already? Are you the blue little ducky or are you more the yellow duck? Are you visible already? Are you present? Or are you just one of the other ones? So this is also the case when you think about how visible is my brand. Do I need to invest more in my network or am I doing already pretty well? So always bringing contact back to an organization is a fantastic opportunity. Like I mentioned before, when you network with other business partners, assistants, you build bridges, you even bring a new client maybe, and it's just a wonderful motivation when your organization sees that you are so committed to your role and you have such a strong identification with your company that you are willing to network for your company and on behalf of your company. This is also the case when you're posting a few things online, when you go on LinkedIn, when you're sharing an open vacancy, when you're sharing a press release you're proud of, maybe even share a YouTube video from your manager where you are super proud of seeing him on stage and you want to just share how wonderful you enjoy working with that leader. These are the moments you decide, of course, how much you want to share, but this is something I have been doing and it helped me to really connect with my business, to connect with my managers and show them that I'm 100% behind that company. So you can do so many different things, of course. And of course, when you start a new job, be part of onboarding initiatives. It is the best way to really come into a new role. It's a wonderful opportunity to jump on training opportunities, lunch and learns, go out on the lunch dates, not always sharing the lunch date with the same people. Of course, we love to be with our favorite colleagues and we love to chit chat with them, but it's always good to really mix and to really see, okay, who can I go for lunch with? Because it's important that I see other people as well. And what I also like to recommend to you, every time when I started a new role, when I started a new job, I always reached out to my manager and I said, I really want to get to know the people in this company. And whenever there's time, I would love to do an internship. So whenever he was traveling, whenever he was on vacation, I took a half day and I went into the marketing department. I wanted to see why the website is like it is. I wanted to understand the marketing strategy. I also went into the logistics. I was actually there. I was picking products. I really wanted to see how the product gets into the box. When I was working at a startup company in Berlin selling online classes, I wanted to see how this system runs, and this really helped me to really meet my network and to really meet different hierarchy levels in an organization. And you will be surprised how thankful people are. And because you are interested in the work of others, you are spending time next to them, you ask questions, and you really want to help. And so this is something I would definitely recommend. Maybe even if it's not a new job, even you've been with your company for quite a while, maybe it's even more important to do a little internship in between, to really focus on new products, focus on new strategies, and just find out what's going on in your company. Because sometimes when we work on the C-level, it gets lonely up there. We really don't have the classical connection to departments, because we don't really belong to departments. We have such a strong partnership with our managers, but especially in terms of the C-level, in terms of being very loyal and discreet. So it makes it sometimes a little bit hard to really step up and connect with other people. So if you do it, just be very authentic and show them that you're really interested in them. And then, of course, externally, like I said before, it is important to spread the word. Why not going on events? Be proud of your company. Enjoy peer group learnings with other assistants, maybe. I love working out loud initiatives, even with other companies involved. Start using social media as a wonderful platform. And this is how you show to be a true ambassador of your company. And I'm sure your manager or the HR department will absolutely appreciate this approach. But of course, the company can invest in you as well. So I'm always surprised to see that there are so many assistants out there who do not have business cards. And hey, it's not a big budget thing. So this is something I would always ask for. I say, hey, I want to be a good company ambassador. I want to be a good networker. I want to present my company the best way I can. I need business cards. I'm going on a training. I'm going on a meetup. I'm going to meet other assistants. I want to hand over a business card. I want to be proud of the company. So this is something how you can argue, and also in terms of receiving financial support for your trainings, workshops, and conferences, and maybe even you're able to negotiate a membership fee in a professional networking association. Give it a try. Tell them how you want to be a wonderful ambassador and advocate, and I'm sure it's going to work out. Yeah, networking, it is really the future, belongs to those who are connected. And I'm not about numbers. I'm not the one telling, hey, I have so many LinkedIn contacts. I have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, I don't know. I mean, of course, it is not easy to keep in touch or keep up with everyone on your online network, but of course it is about quality and not quantity. And this is why it is so important that you reach out with a personal message to the people. It's not about clicking on another name, clicking on another profile, because this is not the way it works. And I'm declining a lot of these requests, by the way. I'm not accepting everyone's request. If I have a feeling I'm not comfortable with someone, I'm just declining, and that's totally okay. So giving back is something very important as well. So sharing is caring, number one, of course. The moment you're reading a valuable article or you saw something online, make sure you share it. A great leader shares, and don't just sit on that information and keep it to yourself. Distribute it to others. Share it with admins in your organization. Share it even on your social media channel. Just don't read it. I mean, there's always someone who has put a lot of effort in writing an article. Just, be very appreciative and like it and share it and maybe comment it. So this is absolutely a deserving shout out to the author. And you might want to tag people where you think that they are benefiting from a article. So this is so easy. You can lift your peers. The moment you have a feeling that someone has not been promoted the way they should be promoted, you can give a shout out. You can make sure that some people in the organization know that this person did a fantastic job, and highlight the work of this person. So this is how you invest in your network. This is really, really wonderful to see when people give each other high fives and just bring it to the radar to other people that this is great work that has been done here. Information management, of course, the same way. Like when I was finishing tonight my seminar here in Munich, I said to those attending, it's a wonderful opportunity that you have been here today, but there are so many other admins in your organization that were not able to make it. So please share the slides, please share the discussions we had. Make sure that they are aware of the content you have been receiving today. And again, this is leadership. This is pure leadership when you do this and when you tell your community about it, and you want to make sure that the next time there's a great training out there, someone else is going. And also, when you read a fantastic book, I always tell everyone that I love the book of Michelle Obama so much. So this is something I always share when I talk to people. Have you read the book? You need to have it. You need to see this. You need to really dive into this. It's so much inspiration and it's so easy. So whenever you have the opportunity to share a recommendation, please do it. And of course, make the people around you aware of these associations. I'm always surprised, especially here in Germany, when I mention the association, they are so surprised because they've never heard of it. So it's just so simple to mention and to bring that to the attention of other people. And maybe if you are a member already, why not bringing your colleague the next time? And yeah, just grow your network together. So here's another thing I would like to share with you that is really, really close to my heart. And I've created the initiative We Are in This Together. Emily mentioned it so kindly before. It is really an empowerment movement because I believe that especially women and assistants and admin, we need to fight for each other and stand up for each other. So this has been an initiative which has been around for a while now, and it was featured on a few channels, and I was able to give a few interviews about it. A lot of people have been using the hashtag on social media. It made me really, really proud to see that this is such an important hashtag now that feels that people connect to each other. There was a webathon for Vicky Sokol-Evans when she was sick a few years ago, and it was part of that webathon because we all were in this together, helping this amazing trainer to get better. And it was just a fantastic initiative. And yeah, I would like to introduce you to one of the fantastic ambassadors out there who've been great supporters of We Are in This Together around the world. So here we have Helen from the Netherlands. She always uses this wonderful quote from Madeleine Albright. There's a special place in hell for women who don't help each other. And it's true. It's so true. We need to stand up to each other. We need to bring our network together and to really help each other. I really love this. Here's Paula, remember the lady with the cake? Yeah, of course she's there. She was one of the first supporters because she's a great networker. She's always out there, she's learning, and she's ready to share her wisdom. I really enjoy working with Paula on a few initiatives. And yes, we really are one profession and one voice. Here's Sarah, my friend from Germany. She's also a great networker, originally from the UK, but based in Munich. I'm actually going to see her this Friday at an event at Microsoft where I will be speaking. It is wonderful how we connect to see who's coming. We're sharing invitations. We are just bringing information to the attention of others. So they are there, they are ready to learn, and they are ready to support. Here we have the wonderful Susan, a great networker from South Africa. I met her last year for the first time when we were both representing our countries at the World Administrators Summit. She's a fantastic lady, lots of energy, and she keeps the admins in South Africa together. I'm very proud to know this wonderful woman. And yeah, I love to support her work. And of course, how can I not mention Bonnie? She's absolutely a fantastic role model to many of us, not only to the speaking community. I'm sure a lot of you have been attending webinars and seminars of Bonnie. She's producing a lot of great work together with Vicky Sokol-Evans. They have been speaking for ELS a lot, and it's something I definitely recommend for you anytime you have the opportunity to see Bonnie. Go there. She's a great supporter, and she stands up. Absolutely. And here's Gloria. She's from Spain. She's also talking about a collaborative tribe. Yes, we are a tribe. And this network is a tribe. So this is why we need to help each other and step up and belong to each other, and just how we can build this network a little bigger, how we can really bring new people into a network, how we can really explore new opportunities and become a stronger voice for this industry. And here's Denmark, represented by Maria. It's wonderful to see that she has been part of this initiative as well. Absolutely passionate admin. It's wonderful to see her. I met her through my IMA network, and yeah, she's a great supporter as well. And then we have Switzerland. This is Tina, a lady I met a few years ago at a webinar, at a conference. And she's also a great supporter and supporting the journey, and absolutely passionate about our profession, and always ready to network, always ready to share knowledge. And this is so easy. Yeah, so I would love, of course, to invite you to join this initiative. I would love to hear from you what means we are in this together for you. I would love to connect with you. It would be wonderful to see how I can support you. Every time I meet people, I always ask, what can I do for you? Is there anything I might help you with? Is there someone in my network I can introduce you with? And it can be really, really easy. I know not everyone wants to spend that much time for networking. And again, it is time consuming. But the moment you have the passion, the moment you see the benefits and you really see what's coming back, you will see that it's pure joy, really focusing on networking. So why don't you step forward and activate your peers? Think about the things you want to maybe do a little differently on social media, how you want to approach your network, how you want to approach people you have never met before. Maybe you want to update your profile. Don't forget to step out. Don't forget to do the offline networking. It's super, super important to come together with your peers. And yeah, we are all in this together. And I think this should make us all proud. So set your goals now, especially when we are close to the year end. It's always wonderful to set goals and think about the ways you want to change. And maybe networking is part of your agenda for 2020. And I would love to hear how you're doing. Connect with me. And if there's anything else I can do for you, I will be there. Time to form your brand, time to invest in your brand, because you own your own brand. And this is really, really important, that it's all about you and all about the way you want to be seen. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been always a pleasure working with ELS. Thank you, Emily. And yeah, let's see if we have any questions.
Thanks, Diana. And just a reminder to our listeners to please submit your questions via the toolbar on the right-hand side of your screen. And you can also download a copy of the slides via the handout tab on the menu. Okay, Diana, so our first question today is, how do you suggest getting started in creating organically a group within your city where there may not be an association or are an already established organization for assistance? Like, what's the first step in getting started?
I would definitely use LinkedIn and see, okay, who's around there. I always use the location finder. I always try to see who is in my city, who can I connect with, and then you have all these search options on LinkedIn where you can really write down Berlin, administrative assistant, executive assistant, and then you receive so many wonderful names. And of course, they are strangers to you, and you can easily connect with them and tell them, why not meeting over a glass of wine the next time? Why not seeing who's ready for exchange? And it's going to take a while, of course. It's going to sometimes even take a while to convince people to join. But this is how you can do tiny steps, and maybe then you are able to form a new group, especially in those not that big cities. And we have that in Germany as well. And IMA, especially, the association has not everywhere a regional group. So this is what I usually bring to the attention of people. Use the social media, the help of social media, and really see what people are around you, and start easily connecting, start chatting, start exchanging on your roles, and maybe people will be easily to follow your idea to network, and then meet for coffee, meet for a glass of wine, and see how many others would like to join. Because the moment you are talking to someone, there's always someone else in the background. So there's always someone they're going to bring to that encounter. They're going to bring to that evening glass of wine. So all of a sudden, there are going to be a bunch of people sitting around and exchanging on the future role of the management assistant, maybe. That would be wonderful to see.
Yeah, and just to echo what you said, Diana, I think too, don't be afraid to start with just those one-on-one conversations like you did in London, Diana, right? Where it's just one person. And even some of the networking of the communities we have here in Chicago. I mean, Chicago is a city of, 3-4 million people. And sometimes the networking functions that I attend might only have 10 people at them. But that's okay because it's still worth engaging, even if it's just a few of you.
Totally agree. Yeah. And sometimes these are the first steps. And in the end, a few years later, those are big associations now. Those are big networking groups. You never know what you can really establish with reaching out on social media and starting it step by not being afraid. Fully agree, Emily.
Diana, we have a really interesting question around cybersecurity. So, the company policy for this listener is that they are not to check in while on business travels. So to basically publicize that they are traveling for business to other locations, because it leaves them vulnerable to cyber attacks. So if you were to do this, so similar to what you did, I think, in London and some other examples that you gave, they would be violating the company policy. So what thoughts do you have around that? And just like what points of consideration should there be around publicly stating that you are away from your desk or away from your office or even away from your home?
Yeah, right. So the thing is it allowed that these people are exchanging in closed groups? Because as you know, Emily, there are many wonderful admin groups on LinkedIn where, of course, they're not open to public. So I don't know if this is an option to place the question there. Of course, keep it as low profile as possible. But if even this is not allowed, I would definitely see who I know out there. There's always someone in your network where you can reach out and say, hey, I'm actually going with my manager on a business trip to Miami, but I'm not allowed to post anything. But do you have anyone around in Miami, or is there any interesting contact I might reach out through email, or just give a quick call just to see if it's someone around there? Maybe there would be a wonderful opportunity to check out a few hotels, to check out a few restaurants, because my boss is traveling a lot to Miami, so it would be wonderful to have a local admin there to help me show around. So go to the network you already have and where you trust them. I'm sure they're going to give you a number that you be able to call and say, hey, this is something I would like to keep close to my network. Is there any opportunity to meet you? I've heard you are connected to that lady already who's part of my network. It will be wonderful to exchange. Let me know if you're open to that. So maybe that's helpful.
I think that's a great suggestion, Diana, is just keeping it to the closed groups. I know our group on LinkedIn for ELS is Executive Leadership Support Professionals, and that's a closed group. And we only allow executive assistants in that group. So, you're free to potentially post there. But also, I think possibly even posting after you've gone on a business trip is while you're not in that location anymore, it's still being
Right.
social and you're still sharing your experiences. So if you took photos or something exciting happened while you were on that trip to Miami, you could post it once you return, which
Absolutely.
I think is still worth sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful opportunity, and but honestly, I mean, I've had the experience the other day when an admin told me, in terms of going out for lunch with managers. She said that her boss saw her in the cafeteria sitting with one of the other C-level executives, and he actually called her into the office and said, "I don't want you to go for lunch with that manager." So, wow, that was a clear instruction. But what else should you do? Of course, you cannot say, I'm not doing this. I needed to follow this. So, of course, there's always the other side of the world where you have all of a sudden a very conservative manager who is not into networking, who doesn't see the benefits of really that you're going to exchange with other managers and you're going to understand the business much more in a detail. And, of course, bring a lot of knowledge back to your desk and help your manager to grow as well. So she was so shocked about this information, and she actually went to the workers' council and get them involved to see, if she's really allowed, and if she's not allowed to go on lunch with this person. So this is really really sad to see, honestly. Yeah.
Diana, I have a question for you on LinkedIn, and I'm really curious to your thoughts on this as well. So if you don't recognize, if someone requests to follow you on LinkedIn and you do not know them, do you accept them or they don't send you a message explaining why they want to make the connection? What are your
Mhm.
thoughts on that?
Well, of course, I always check the profile. So it's not that I'm receiving a LinkedIn connection and hey, there's no personal message. Okay, I'll delete it right away. I always, of course, go to the profile. I'm investing those a few seconds and I'm going through the profile. And if I see that this person is maybe connected to many many other people in my network, oh, she's an executive assistant, she's part of the industry, or maybe a hotel or another business partner that is maybe relevant for my work as well. Of course, I would go through this and see if it's relevant and if accepting it. But sometimes people are just think it's so easy to click on a name and have the feeling that they are just chasing contacts and fishing contacts, and that's too strategic for me. It's always, networking is about humans, about people, and about emotions. So don't be too strategic in every single minute. So think about how you would approach people. And of course, I give them a chance. I go through it. And if I have the feeling I should decline it, I decline it without a comment.
Great tips, Diana. This will be our last question because sadly we've run out of time. How do you fight the nervous or social anxiety aspects of networking? And I think truly this can be both for in person networking and for
Hmm.
social media. So maybe you can address them separately um,
Yeah,
based
indeed.
on where people might be having anxiety or they might be nervous.
Yeah. So once again, when we are talking about the social networks online, I'm a big fan of these groups for admins because it's all about us. It's our community. We should feel trusted, and it's our profession. There are many many great experts in these groups, and no one is expecting from you that you start a conversation right away. You can be an observer for a long time. Don't have the feeling that you need to moderate a group, that you need to post every single day. I know a lot of, especially introverts who want to be part of a network, who want to be part of a community, but they are simply not ready to post. So be quiet, be consuming, and just listen and read. And there will be always this moment when you feel that you are ready to post a comment or even start with a tiny little share or a like or these kind of things that you really give something back, that the network sees that you are there because you want to start becoming a little visible after a while, maybe because this is going to help you grow your network, and just do it step by step. And in terms of a personal encounter and in terms of going on a meetup, oh yes, I've been there myself. I've been forcing myself to go on these events by myself because I knew when I bring my best friend or when I bring in a colleague from the company, I would only stick with that person. I would not meet too many new people. So this was absolutely leaving my comfort zone. So I had to force myself to go on this new catering service introduction or the new hotel opening because I knew it's beneficial for my work. I had to be there. And I had to force myself into a conversation. And this is why it is so important that you have business cards what you can hand over, that you have an updated LinkedIn profile, that there are wonderful opportunities on LinkedIn where you can actually have your barcode ready the moment you're meeting someone in person. You can both open your LinkedIn profile, you can scan yourself, and you are connected right away. This is helping us so easily to connect, even a mixture between the online and offline world. So go for it. Be ready for it. Maybe it's a great goal for 2020.
What's interesting, Diana, is so I'm an introvert and it doesn't come naturally to me either. And I was
Okay.
recently kind of stressing about posting something on LinkedIn. And our social media manager at ELS, who is 24 years old and young, and this is why he manages social media. But he mentioned to me I was kind of nervous about posting something. And he looked at me and he said, Emily, no one cares as much as you care. And
Exactly.
I thought it was so true because we're so critical of ourselves and we're so consumed with ourselves naturally
Right. Yeah.
that
And
the
I would,
what we put out in the world, this post, which was super casual, people were going to read it and either like it or move on. They weren't going to sit
exactly.
and dissect every word like I was.
Absolutely. Fully agree. And there will be always people who have a different opinion. So don't get too much distracted by that. And because
Yes.
this is going to hold you back to post anything at all. So, of course, especially women, we want to be so perfect. And a lot of us have the so-called imposter syndrome. That means that we are never 100% perfect and we think that we are not good enough and we need to be 120% perfect. But sometimes 80% is just fine. But
Hmm.
doesn't let this hold you back of opening a great opportunity to network and maybe to find your new job. Don't underestimate the career opportunities that are out there, especially when you reach out. The moment you have a great network, it's going to help you. I've been now on my own feed for nearly 2 years, and guess what? I don't even have a website. My network is constantly helping me to grow my customer base without a website. A lot of trainer colleagues keep telling me, Diana, what's going on here? You need a website. But hey, it's working, and I love to network. I've been doing it my whole life, online and offline, and this is how my business is running as well. So it's going to help your business too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diana, for today. I'd really like to express my gratitude to you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. It's been a long day for you, leading a training course and
Right,
then now
indeed.
speaking with us. So thank you again for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you so
Our
much,
next,
Emily. Always a pleasure.
always great having you, Diana. Our next ELSX webinar will take place on October 22nd, where Jeremy Burrows will discuss artificial intelligence and the future of assistance. And you can register for that or any of our upcoming webinars at elsforum.com. As a reminder, you can go ahead and download the slides from the toolbar, a certificate of attendance, and this recording will be emailed to you tomorrow. I hope you have enjoyed today's ELSX, and final thank you to everyone for joining us and for participating. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I wish you continued success. Take care.